Hi, free advice for men. Reid and Fred. Sorry, Fred, I don't know your surname. Fred and Reid, if you look at my other video, you'll see that I have been very supportive, extremely supportive of your idea. But today I've had some concerns which I'd like to share. It's very obvious, well, you've said that you've been contacting vulnerable men within at least one 12-step programme. Uh, Vulnerable men don't like to admit they're vulnerable. They're often not the best judgment of their mental state. But generally speaking, it's acknowledged that people in 12-step programs are more vulnerable than general society, and the reasons why people resort to various types of addiction is commonly to mask abuse, trauma, neglect, etc., etc. So factually speaking, you're reaching out to a group of vulnerable men, which is nothing wrong with that. If you're safe, and I don't think you're safe, to be honest with you. I've been thinking you both are very experienced in a process that increasing numbers of men claim to have been abusive. I recently discovered research where one man says that the new warrior training adventure weekend and the subsequent I group and etc. placed false memories of sexual abuse in his head. Reid Bear, you've been on the various MKP survivors groups. You know what men say about it. So although I applaud your effort and I think it's great what you're doing about to offer something else, I think you're running a risk of reusing abusive processes that have abused many people. In your first video, you made it very clear that you're going to be upfront and honest and open, and you would share all the processes that the men needed to know. You didn't share them all. You said you gave contradictory messages. You said about being open and transparent, and then you said, well, we're not going to be completely transparent. So I'm concerned that you're giving out mixed messages. Furthermore, you then didn't share any of the processes that you said you would share. So I'm sorry, but I don't think you're safe to be doing this stuff. To be honest with you, you're giving out too many mixed messages. One of the things that, as far as I can see, you're not aware of is, Fred, you said that you had unwanted sexual advances on one of the weekends, and that upset you, and you felt the MKP wasn't behaving properly. But the fact that both you and Reid have done something which is very worrying. A man on YouTube, sorry, has asked you if he could hit upon other men during the weekend. Reid, you have said yes, you've given him permission to hit upon other men. That's just not acceptable, Reid. When Fred was subjected to unwanted sexual advancements and he was very unhappy about it, that you both are already setting up agenda for the exact same thing to happen. I'm very sorry, but reading your mails and knowing Reid the way I do, I firmly suggest that to invite vulnerable men, to plan to take them to vulnerable places within themselves, I think you're setting up for the process to become abusive. You're not transparent, you're not doing what you said you are. You're going to use processes that many men have found to be abusive. Already you're contradicting yourselves, and there's nothing wrong with contradictions if it's just you. But if you're dealing with vulnerable men, which is what you plan to do, then I'm angry at you. I'm actually angry at you because I think what you're doing is quite dangerous, and you're not aware of it. I mean, given the mistakes that you've made about saying you're going to be transparent, not being transparent, by not sharing the details, yeah, you're not even aware of this. You've not even addressed this issue. I mean, this is major blunders, major mistakes. By inviting unwanted sexual advances on your weekend, and just letting that go on the internet, and by planning to use processes that many people have found to be traumatic, I just think that despite your good intentions, you're not ready. And I think what you're doing is a great idea, and you see by my other video that I have been really supportive. But thinking about what you're doing, I can just see that unless you put the brakes on and do a serious retake and get some supervision. I mean, you're asking for trouble. Have you two done any other work other than the Mankind Project? Have you had one-to-one therapy? Because it's just, if there is such a thing about reading body language and reading the subconscious signals, then my reading of your body language, and especially reading the emails that you've sent, Reid, you both strike me as not being sensitive enough to be sensitive to others men's needs. You strike me as, sorry to be blunt, but planning to use a process that is like taking a hammer to an eggshell. So I might post other videos, but this is just one, and I warn any other man or men who's thinking about doing the the workshop, free advice from men. Don't do it, because Reid and Fred are not qualified at all. They're amateurs, and they've been schooled, deeply schooled in a process that many people have found to be abusive. So I would warn men against doing the. I mean, I don't even know if what you're doing is honest. Are you allowed to canvass amongst the NA community? I think if the NA leaders know that you're canvassing amongst the NA community, that's illegal. That I think, at least in England, you're not allowed to canvass. External organisations are not allowed to canvass within any 12-step organisation. So unless the NA has different guidelines between the US and the UK, unless that's the case, then what you are doing, I suggest, is illegal by canvassing amongst the vulnerable community of the 12-step programme. Okay, well, this is the first video. I may post others. Thank you. Bye.